Welcome.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
We are
Hey.
here. We made it.
We did.
Finally.
Finally, welcome to our first official
Episode.
Of
of
Heel
Heel
Hot
Hot
Girl.
Girl.
Yes.
That's so cute. How do we do that at the same
We
time?
did it.
Well, for all of y'all who don't know me, my name is Samantha. My friends call me Sammy, Sam and SP for short. I'm a Buffalo kid, but I've been living in Nashville for the last 4 years. My healing journey is very intertwined with my move to Nashville, so I'm very excited to be here. You can find me wherever you find people on Instagram. Just look me
Maybe
up.
you find us.
Maybe you find me, maybe you don't, but I'm on Instagram. You can find me if you want.
I love it. Sam loves the chase.
He sure does.
Hey, y'all. I'm Jess. I am your new wellness bestie. You're going to love it. I have been on this healing journey for a bit. These last 2 years have been extremely pivotal for me mentally, physically, and spiritually. I am someone who is just trying to make sure that when God calls me home, I have no more life left in me. I'm originally from the Bronx, currently living in Jersey. Shout out to the tri-state area. But
Joe.
yeah, I'm here through faith, y'all. And so I'm excited to bring y'all along with this journey with me. You can follow me at In Good Health Jess on Instagram. I'm excited to be here, y'all.
Me too. And last but absolutely not least,
Definitely not.
hello, everybody. My name is LB. I'm a Buffalo kid living in the DMV. Healing journey has been just that, a journey. I actually will have to say that I think I just started it. I think I really just officially started my healing journey. So I'm excited to take you guys on the ride, show you guys what we have. Friends and family is the formula, everything for we. You can find me on all platforms at Lissbomb, LYSSBOMB.
Yes.
But we're super happy to be here with you guys.
Heel Hot Girl to me is the story of our relationship and our friendship and how we've supported each other along the way, the good and the bad, and also how we've sort of traveled on our own journeys together, but alongside each other. And so I'm excited to open up our relationship and our friendship. Y'all have been patient too. Shout out to all 60 followers we got right now. Y'all got to realize.
No facts, because we were actually supposed to do this like
3 different times.
several times.
Yes.
What happened the first time?
Well, I think the thing was at first we tried to do like a virtual pod. We're all like long distance. We're all long distance,
Right.
really.
New
Yeah.
York, Nashville, DMV.
Yeah, I live in
Yeah.
DC. Jess was in DC up until about, I don't know, what would you say,
No,
Jess?
October.
October.
Last year,
Yeah, she left for a little bit. So we're kind of like displaced in like different places.
Yeah.
So we were like, we really had this idea. We really want to do it, but we weren't together. So
Yeah.
we tried to do like the Zoom thing, but it was
Did not work
It was
out.
not giving.
I will say though, practice though. Like
Yeah, it
we didn't. I
was.
feel like a lot of it also just like not knowing what it takes to really pod, and just in general from like branding, logistics, rollout, like the formality, having us having the same microphones. Like our audio was a little off sometimes. We were like, hold on,
Yeah.
gotta sign back in. It was just like no. And then, LB found Legacy House. Now we're
And
here.
yeah, so after a while, then after that, we were like, okay, great, found Legacy House. We're like, this is it. So excited.
Put a deposit down.
We have
Picked a
our
date.
dates.
We had
have our
outfits.
fits. Like, we're so ready. And then the blizzard hit. So we were supposed to
Ooh.
shoot right around Christmas break.
Yes.
December
Couple days after
26th.
Christmas. Yeah.
It was the
and-
day after Christmas, December 26th. And let me tell you, we didn't have heater power, okay?
No, we didn't. We
Couldn't even
didn't.
shower
No.
at that
So
time.
those
That's
of
too
us-
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those of us that were there, we were with y'all, okay? We were in the trenches too. So yeah, so we're just that's why we're super happy to be here today. I think is like it's kind of been a journey. But I think all of that like led us to this place that we're at today.
Mhm.
I think it's just
For
things
sure.
that most people can relate to, been through, might go through at some point. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
No,
why we're super excited.
We're so
Seriously.
excited. So how do we all know each other?
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Go ahead, LB. Take your credit.
I'll take all the credit, but I'll take all the credit because really, it was these are both my friends, and we became friends. So first, Samantha and I went to college together. This is back when Facebook was like new. They
You had to have the
had
college
you had to have
email
a college
address
email address.
to get into Facebook.
Yes,
So
and so we met in a freshman group, friended each other.
This was like Bumble BFF. If anyone knows Bumble BFF, this was like the first Bumble BFF.
she was
Absolutely,
like,
yes.
I'm like
She was
her.
like, "Hey, girl," and
I
I was
want to
like,
be.
and so
It's been
I
fast and furious ever
yes,
since.
I was dorming. I was like, I wanted to go away to college, but like didn't want to leave Buffalo. So I was like, I'm gonna go and dorm. Samantha was like, I'm absolutely not living with a bunch of people. You're out of your mind.
Still Sam, very
Still
Sam on
me.
brand.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely not. So anyway, it was my birthday weekend.
That
It
was your
felt like,
first date.
That was our
yeah,
first
Oh,
date
it felt like
in
the
the
most.
union. In the student
Mind you,
union.
LB does not like movie dates are not a
I
thing for
hate
her.
movies.
She does
I,
not.
I
It's
don't.
not.
I don't even like Fast and Furious. Like still to this day. Like
But I
Really?
think we were so excited to be there. Like we wanted this college like experience. So we were like, okay, like Fast and Furious it is. And then over time, I took Sam to her first college party.
oh my gosh,
She
I
wore
had
a
a turtleneck.
turtleneck.
I wore a turtleneck.
Lord,
So that was
wait,
the spot
okay.
for the trap
The
house.
trail is definitely still
It's in the
honestly,
archives.
It was
it's in
baby.
the
It was baby
archive.
hot girl.
It was baby hot girl because it was also hot in there because it was a basement. And they had jungle juice in the like tubs.
Crazy.
And like,
Ooh.
what was that? Because like, were we really just sticking our cups in like a tub of juice and drinking it?
Ew.
Like we were, but
Ew.
whatever. Honestly, we're here now, so it doesn't matter.
We survived.
But yeah, so over time, we just have built a friendship.
And a lot of growth, I think,
Yeah,
throughout our
20s,
yeah.
Tough.
Throughout the how many years
Still.
we've been friends? Like 17 years.
over
a
half.
lot.
I mean, we were so I was 17 when we met.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
half our lives.
Oh,
at this
y'all.
point.
and then
shade
you
on
and
the podcast.
Jesse. How do you and Jesse know each other?
I stalked her. So I'm kidding. That sounds
way I
beautiful.
did.
Stop.
Yo, so let me tell you
the same
something.
way
Nah.
I did it, right?
No, it wasn't even. I'm a shooter. I'm a shooter.
Shoot.
I
There we
shoot
go.
shot. No, so college, we were in the same sorority. And I was just so big on just like, oh, alumni, newbie, but before I knew the game. And she just happened to be in that tree, in that line. And so
she
I
was
had
my
reached out.
little-
Yeah, like times extra 6, 5, who knows. But yeah, I had reached out. She had came to one of the events. And ever since then, it was just like glue. It was like
Up
little,
and
it was like
stuck.
big sis, little sis. We were out
Yeah.
all the time. Saved me from so many things. We've lived in DC, just learning and growing together. So
Yeah.
and then she introduced me to Sam. Really, and in there we started the group chat, and then
I
the
don't
it,
even
was the
remember how
chat
the
was
group
called the
chat
group
even,
chat.
like, really came
Yeah.
together. Remember how
Yeah.
it came to fruition?
I don't. And how long we've had it for?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
But I'll
No.
say God led us here
Yes.
for a fact,
Amen.
because it really just started in a group chat,
Mhm.
and we had this idea. This is like a part of the things that we wanted to like do, individually, and it just made sense to do it together.
Mhm.
3 is powerful.
Yeah. 3 is a really special number.
3 is
There's
powerful.
power in 3, for sure. And
Yeah.
I think just over time, like we just really, and we have so many other ideas also. Like this is just the
This is
first.
Just
of,
getting started,
like,
you guys.
met
There's
out
also
of
so
town.
much like while we're all like-minded, we also have enough differences because
For
everybody's
sure.
healing
Yeah.
journey is really unique and
Yeah.
personal, right? And so we all have different ways that we cope.
Approach
Yeah,
and the things that we offer individually,
mhm.
for sure.
And then we bring that to each other too,
Yeah.
and I think that's really special.
Guys, being on the Hot Girl Hot Seat, you get a question asked, and it's just really allowing us to, share that part of you, be a little bit vulnerable on camera, in real time, on live. And I think there's something to always learn from the hot seat. We live in and we learn in everyone's experience. So Hot Girl Hot Seat's not a bad thing, but we're gonna put me on it. Let's get the ball rolling.
Yeah, okay. You pick your card?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
She's like tarot deck shuffling.
Ooh.
Oh. Okay.
What's a flaw I've learned to appreciate about myself over time?
Ooh. Okay. Too emotional. And I think I put that under flaw lightly though. And so for me, I think that it has allowed me throughout the time, one, like, being emotional is not a bad thing. Like, I
No,
think coming to terms with that in itself, like, there's so much beauty in that
being sensitive goes
to
both
for
ways,
sure,
right?
and being able to empathize with people, and I think, being too emotional is too emotional for who? For you,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
not for myself. And so, one of the things that I've learned to accept is just more so maneuvering how I express certain emotions, um, learning to be less reactive with those emotions,
Mhm.
being more in control of that part of me, but understanding that whatever it is that I feel is like true to myself, and honoring that. So,
Mhm.
yeah, like it, yeah.
So would you say that there's like one situation that made you aware of this emotion? Like one day was it an aha moment? You maybe like you said, you start to hear the same thing.
Hmm.
And then that, or like, yeah.
Yeah. Um, I really feel like my earth angels have been that reminder of like, don't change who you are. But a specific moment, I feel like I've had several. And so for me recently, it's over the last year of just like a lot of self work. It's just a matter of like, yeah, there's a lot of things that have triggered those thoughts. Like, okay, this is something to keep in mind. If a lot of people are kind of like sharing that, it's okay that you are, but let's dig deeper into it. Where are those emotions coming from? During this
Mhm.
situation caused X emotion. All right, let's drill it down a little bit more. So definitely different moments. I think for me it's just being grounded by the people around me to not change who I am.
Mhm.
But the aha moment definitely came when it was more so I want to take control of my life. So yeah, I'm still emotional. I cry, baby. I cry. I
She
get
cried before we came
angry.
here
I cried
today.
before this, I'm yes.
Yes,
Look,
she
All
did.
crying is
emotions,
therapeutic,
feeling. There's
though.
there's feeling, and I think
There's power in feeling.
there's power in feeling.
There's power in tears too. That's literally stressing is one of the or crying is one of the ways that we release stress. And when we
Mm,
don't allow ourselves to cry,
mm,
we literally keep that tension. We hold that tension in our body. So you're
mm.
good for letting it out. Like all
Right.
this tough guy act,
Yeah.
like it'll give you anxiety
For
like
sure.
me.
For
You know what I
sure.
mean? You just
For
can't breathe
sure.
because all of a sudden you're feeling things. Like it's weird. You're like, what's happening? But like,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
supposed we're supposed to feel our feelings. And I feel like so many of us grew up like, don't cry. Like,
Yeah.
don't cry. Don't let anybody see you
For
cry. Like,
sure.
even in a work setting, it was like, I remember my favorite book when I started my PR career in New York City was If You Have to Cry, Go Outside. And I believed that shit. Like,
Mm.
don't cry. And I still believe you shouldn't just be crying at work. Just go to the bathroom, please.
Please, like,
Please just go to the
breathe in,
bathroom.
okay?
But no one else deserves to see you hurt if you don't want them to.
For
So
sure.
go to the bathroom for that reason. But you got to let the tears out because otherwise we hold the tension in our body and then that shows up in other ways over time. 5, 10 years later, you're
Yeah.
still carrying this stress in other places. Now you have disease. Now all of a sudden you have this ache in your back and it doesn't seem related at all, right? And the doctors can't figure out what's going on. Now you just got back pain. Now you're on medicine, but it's like still like it's really hard to, it comes out mostly on my
Yeah, no, no,
period, but
no, for sure, for sure.
I'm still not a crier. I'm not totally comfortable with it yet, but it happens.
I think it's situational for sure, and like it's all about your comfort level. And I think one thing is like everyone should know what theirs is. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? I think that's part of the journey is like knowing what you're comfortable in sharing with others and what you're
Mm-hmm.
not. But I also think there's some vulnerability in that too. Because you're showing a side of you that maybe you typically wouldn't.
But you could cry on my shoulder.
But yeah, like, and I think that there's
Everyone cries on
definitely
your shoulder,
everyone cries
LB.
on my shoulder. Yes.
He cries on your shoulder.
I'm
This is the last time I cried on your shoulder. Well, it's not that long ago, I feel like.
no,
Whew.
but Jess, you mentioned something about earth angels.
Yeah.
Why don't we
Talk about it.
tell the people what? Because I feel like I think it's a really cool thing that you should
Let's
share.
talk about it.
Yeah.
All right. Yo, hot girl, hot seat. Yeah. Hot. All right, Earth Angel.
Spicy.
All right, last 2 years. So I mentioned that it's been crazy. Okay, we've dealt with grief, we've dealt with breakups, we've dealt with transitions, we've dealt with self, we've dealt with inner child healing. Like, there's a lot.
Literally everything.
And so, obviously, and maybe not to all, but it does take a village and a support system and just key folks to remind you where your feet are.
Mm.
all the time.
Mm.
And so I called. It's so crazy because I don't know when I called you that.
I honestly don't remember
Um,
the first time you said that
Me
either.
either, but I definitely had I get emails sometimes, and so I'll send text messages like, "Yo, I just wanna say
I
thank
think it
you.
was my
I
birthday.
love
Maybe
you
it was
so
my birthday
much."
last year.
Who
I
knows?
don't know.
I texted LB, probably said, "I don't know," but then I was like, "Yo, you're an earth angel, for real." And what that looks like is, like, I think she wasn't aware at the time, but she has saved me several times. So, and there's a lot of people, they come in different forms, it's not just LB. I feel like that every single person in my life that I've encountered, built connections with, definitely have offered something and have taught me something. And so,
You see her,
and
y'all?
there,
She getting emotional.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, y'all, I'm telling you, I think I'm most of it, yeah. But for sure, so there's the people in your life, people that come across your life, where you feel something special, a connection with them, or that you're able to take and learn. It doesn't have to be something that continues to like last forever. But yeah, I think just that piece in itself. Yeah, saviors. I had friends that bought me tripods and like, Jay, go record yourself in the gym. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so shy. They're like, F that. You damn right. I've taken my tripod to the gym. I record myself in the gym. And so like, yeah, you don't need this. Do it. Show up for yourself. And so sometimes you need that extra push. And I feel that those people in my life who have done that, who I have encountered, are in fact earth angels because God has placed them in my life for a reason. And for the better too. Even the folks that try to trigger me, that's a test. Like, all right, God, bring it on. I'm ready to take it on head on. We're here. My feet gonna touch the ground. I got my earth angels
I
with
know
me.
that's
Facts,
I
right.
facts.
got my soldiers.
I
I
know.
know
For
that's
And I
sure.
had
right.
texted her like a couple weeks ago. I was at a concert and
Oh God.
I was at a concert and I'm like in the bathroom and there's a girl like busts out of the door and she's like, I was just like so anxious. Like she was like by herself. She's like, I'm so anxious. Like I lost my boyfriend, blah, blah. So
Oh no.
I grab her. I'm like, okay, like you're okay. Like let's do some grounding. And she looks me in my face. She's like, you're an angel. I was like, that's so funny you say that. Because my best friend calls me an earth angel. And she was like, no, you really are. And like I have literally like pictures in my phone with this girl. Like
So
I believe that you don't meet people on accident. Like
she needed LB in that moment for
no, she
real.
did. I brought her with me to my second. Like that was I'm telling you, we have photos together. She was such a light too. Like it was just it was so organic and like
Mhm.
it was just like in that moment, whether I needed her, she needed me, whatever it was like we had a great night together. She stayed with us till the end until she found her boyfriend. She went home happy. She was like, I had the best night ever.
Oh my God.
I left
What a
her.
turnover.
Yeah, like really. I have her phone number. I wish Madison, if you're out there, girl, like go follow us. Because I probably don't remember her. Like I said, her name is in my phone, but I don't remember. Um, but yeah, I just think everything and everyone is connected in some way.
Yeah.
So I also challenge you guys to think about life that way too. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like nothing is too small and nothing is too big. Because people are awesome.
Yeah,
Mhm.
You just have to give them a chance to be.
for sure.
Sometimes I feel like
And a lot.
Martin Luther King right now, but
Not
I
mine.
would try.
I think that no, that was dope, LB. And Sam, I wanna revert a little hot girl hot seat to you. I
Okay.
want you to speak a little bit while we're on the Earth Angel topic. At what point in your life have you felt, or maybe recently in situation in which you encountered an Earth Angel or were an Earth Angel to somebody else?
Who, Jesse, it's funny you asked that because I was gonna look at you, girl.
Oh my God.
I was gonna look at you because real talk, um, there was a period when I was like really depressed and I was out of work, like I was ready to quit my job. And like during this time period, I had 3 months. Shout out to that company. They gave me, well, they didn't give me, I took 3 months. Let's be real. I took 3 months off for my health. And really, I wanted to quit, but I took 3 months off. Depression and anxiety don't come from work, right?
Mm.
Like they show up at work, they
Mm.
don't come from work.
Mm.
And maybe it exacerbated a little bit. But in any
Mm.
case, I was in a really weird space in that time. And I knew that I couldn't go back to work for another person, especially put myself back in that environment because it was really like aggravating to my anxiety and depression. And
Right.
so I was just in this weird place, this weird limbo of like, I know I can't go back to work, but I have no idea how I'm going to start a business. And throughout those, like, 3 months when I was trying to figure it out, I remember saying, "I don't know how I'm gonna do this,
Mm.
and I don't necessarily even believe that I can,
Mm.
so I'm gonna reach out to people who have always believed in me."
Mm.
Jesse has always said from the beginning,
Fact.
you know, like, "Sam, you need a agency," and, like, I mean, I reached out to both of y'all, but there was just so many times you didn't know how much I needed it,
Aw.
girl.
She said this before. She said this to me like in
Aw.
our
You have
conversations.
no I and there were times when I couldn't listen to them in the moment because
Mm.
I was in a fragile place and I knew I couldn't respond. I couldn't
Mm.
reciprocate the energy and I felt bad about that. And it's like, you never
That
took that anyway,
yeah.
right? You just sent me this love.
Mm.
Like you just kept sending me love.
Yeah.
And
Aw.
so yeah, you were that for me.
Oh,
You
I
were that
love you,
for me. I
SP.
love you.
Stop it. People are around us. It's like, yo, y'all are each other's hype, man. This is crazy.
Yeah.
It happened.
He was saying that he was like, yesterday we were doing the shoot. We were doing that photo shoot. He was like, this is crazy. Because we were like, like, hey, girl, because we were doing stuff together and
Yeah.
separately. And like, just
Yeah.
the way that we show
Yeah.
up for each other, it's unwavering.
Yes.
Like, it's a
Mhm.
sisterhood. Like, truly. I've been in such an interesting space in DC. Moving away from home is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to everybody that does it because
Mhm.
I think it's something that isn't spoke about very
Mhm.
often, like the ups and downs and what you really go through, like living outside of your hometown. Um, and just navigating jobs and people and able to call on you guys or that same thing you didn't even know, just like reminding each other of our worth. And I just think also when you think about friendships, like those are key characteristics that you like want in a friend. And there's so many people out here. The devil is always lurking.
Yes.
Okay?
Always ready to trigger,
For real though.
ready
like,
to attack.
you never sometimes it's hard to know people's intentions and it's hard to navigate people's personalities. And
Yes.
even if you show up as your purest self, that doesn't mean that's what you're gonna get in return.
Mhm.
So I think the beauty of it, of our friendship, and that we hope to just continue to share with you and just model maybe in
Yeah,
some ways,
for sure.
because I think especially for women it can be difficult to navigate those relationships,
Mhm.
and people that have pure intentions for you and really want the
Mhm.
best for you.
I feel
They
good.
both cry, by the way, guys. Maybe you can't see it,
It's your
but
turn next. You gotta cry
I feel
next.
good. Yeah, no, literally.
What
Oh
else do we
man.
have on here? I know
never
we wanted to talk a
ever.
little bit about Jesse's healing journey today.
I'm on the extra.
You are
Honestly,
literally on a
right
hot
now
Just
seat.
get out the way.
the flames are coming, and I can't wait for the next episode. Because baby, I'm gonna throw it like a fishing rod.
Hey, Sam.
I'm leaving it there, okay, babe? I'm not wheeling it in.
Your healing journey, Jess. Tell
Oh
us
man.
what did that look like for you? And like, when did
When
that
did you realize
start?
you were on a healing journey?
Yeah, when did you even realize it?
Okay, so I had my first introduction to therapy was my senior year of college. There was so much anxiety about coming back home, sharing space with family again. And so I was in therapy every Monday for my whole senior year. Got back home, I got a job in the city, and I was like, oh, I got this. I'm good. I did my therapy. I
Done.
can take on the world.
Ready to go. Check, check, check.
check the box.
Then I said, years passed by, and I was like, ooh, girl, you're getting anxious again. Something's not right. Not because you're getting anxious, something's not right. But I became a little bit more aware of myself. And I knew when when I wasn't myself, because that's what I was feeling initially was what led me to therapy the first time. So when those emotions and feelings came back again, I knew it was time to seek therapy. And so I was on and off with my therapist for a while since 2016. And I was in a 4-year relationship. I wasn't in therapy throughout that time. And so there was a moment after in which I was like, I need to go to therapy. And I think for me, that reset, and I'm going to say 2 years ago, was it for me. Was approaching therapy in a completely different light. I was like, I know what I had shared when I was in college, but I'm ready to do the dirty work, the groundwork,
Yeah.
the things that are going to really identify every single feeling, emotion to the core. And I want to explore that. I want to open Pandora's box. And so that was it. I was like, I want to start with inner child healing. Shout out to the hood healer because I didn't know what inner child healing was up until she started talking about it. And I said, I want to do inner child work. Um, Weez passed away. And so it was interesting because I started my journey in May, like not started that healing piece of like, okay, I want to do this differently. I'm older. I can understand things. I can apply certain things differently, my approach, style, etc. And so that was in May. Weez passes away in July. That trumped everything because that was such a heavy emotion and like traumatic experience and just like a something that just, like, I had to now learn what that looked like. I've had family in the past that have passed away, but this one was just different. This one took
So
me there.
different.
And so, yeah, for me, it was really that piece when I realized, "Oh, you thought you was on a healing journey. You're gonna explore what comes with all of this." And so, for me, that was really the kickstart reset, um, and it's been ongoing since then. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So would you, it sounds like therapy is an integral or was an integral part of the journey. Would you?
Yeah, until my therapist, see, the thing with therapy is you need insurance sometimes or you need
Therapy
money.
can be very
Therapy is
expensive.
Very
very
expensive.
expensive.
And so my therapist at the time was taking insurance and she was like, Jess, coming into the new year, we're no longer gonna be doing, I'm not gonna be taking insurance. I'm telling y'all, I've been with her since 2016.
Yeah.
But I also respect the woman's business, etcetera. And then there was some personal piece of it. I'm like, yo, as part as integral it was, I'm with you on a weekly basis for 1 hour. Like I'm on this I'm still grieving. Like, sis,
Mhm.
huh? And so she had mentioned like when you're ready to come back, we'll work something out. Don't worry about it. I was ready to go back 3 months later. I took a little break. I was like, I've been doing a lot of
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
I went back, I reached out to her and she was like, "No," basically, and so that to me was also the moment in which I was like, "Yo, is this a make it or break it?" Like, "Jay, like, you need it, like, do you" like, I felt like I needed almost like, was therapy also crippling me in a sense? Did I But her breaking up with me was actually the best thing that could have happened, because I feel like it's just helped me shift my own perspective. I just feel like I'm in a different space right now, and I'm building my relationship with God, and I'm being more faithful, and how I move and my growth spiritually, mentally, physically isn't based off my 1 hour therapy session.
Mhm.
She can assist.
Are you looking for a new therapist now? Have you found one?
I'm actually not at the moment. I think that's another piece that we can like get into, but just finding a therapist in itself is a lot of
Mhm.
work. And not that I'm not willing to do that, but I I'm almost like giving myself my own test. And so no, because I'm trusting where I'm being led and I'm trusting myself that throughout each part of the journey, I'm gonna either see it through, I'm gonna grow from it, I'm gonna learn from it. And I know that if there's a point in time in which I revert to feeling you don't want to wait for the thunder,
Mhm. Mhm.
but I know myself enough to know when it's time
Yeah.
before the
When it's
thunder
starting to
hits,
rain.
when it's starting to rain.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I've been seeing my therapist for the past 2 years. We just recently went monthly. She told me she was proud of me. I felt like I graduated. But I've been with her for the last 2 years, and honestly, it's been life-changing, and this is my second time doing therapy, and I was really hesitant because my first time, I went for maybe about a year, and honestly, it was dumb. Not because my therapist was fine, but, we didn't connect, so that was really hard. I
Mm.
think chemistry matters, and also, I think you have to be in a place where you're ready, and I wasn't even ready to face what I was going through at the time, so it's like, I would go to therapy, and I'd be like, "Yeah, work was stressful again today," but it's like, work is work, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
work isn't what's causing me anxiety and depression, it's the stuff that you don't wanna talk about and open up to her about, and so,
Yeah.
from that experience, it kinda tainted my therapy experience initially early on, and I think that was maybe I don't know, 2018, 2017, but I was having anxiety and depression still, and I didn't therapy wasn't it, medication, I just honestly, nothing was it. It was me, I wasn't ready, right? So, but this most recent time, my therapist and I just locked in, like, it's
Mm,
just and it's been so helpful in
that's
so many
dope.
ways because she gets me out of my head, right? Like we stay in our heads. And it's
For
easy to
sure.
stay up there, and the devil's a lie, right? He'll get you in your head where you're weak and when you're weak, especially with like an anxious mind, right? So, yeah, it's just been me getting out of my head and me stopping like having these one-way conversations with myself, right? Like,
One
and
way.
so she puts things in perspective for me in a way that I often can't put it in perspective for myself. And I've learned a lot more over time. Like my growth is like she's seen, you know what I mean? I
Right.
feel it,
Right.
but yeah, it's so I think therapy is different for everybody. But I would
Sure.
say that if you've tried it before and you didn't feel like it worked for you,
Find someone new.
find someone new. Like stay open to the idea of it because it might have been the therapist, it might have been the connection, it might have been you weren't ready, right? Like there's so many reasons why it doesn't click, but your therapist is just like any other relationship you have. So you want to, you want to trust that person, you want to feel
Yes.
comfortable with that person, you want to feel like you can open up. And so therapy's been life-changing for me. Like I said, she's my bestie. I love her.
Lovely.
I'm gonna do this therapy thing. I'm gonna try this out. I'm gonna give this little therapy thing a try because everyone says I should. So I'm gonna give this therapy
say this
thing.
is
They
the-
say it works.
This is what happens.
So I'm gonna try therapy, and I'll do therapy for like maybe a month or 2 months or 3 months because
And that'll be
depression
good.
just disappears, and then I'll be good, and I will move on with this therapist. She was also a life coach, and I was like, I'll just slide right into life coaching because that's what I'm ready for, like growth, and like looking
I remember
back
that. You had a
now,
whole plan.
2 years later, I'm like, well, I would like to stay with you
Life will slap you
monthly.
real
Right.
humble
I was
you.
like, no, you got to stay monthly. Like we need this like maintenance check-in. Like,
See?
so that's what I have now. We have a maintenance check-in, but I have so many other tools, you know what I mean? Not just that she's given me over the last few years, but that I've given myself,
sure.
my faith,
Yeah.
yoga, things like that. So I'm in a much better place and I have other tools to sort of help me. But therapy has been
Yes.
really, really instrumental for me in the last 2 years and like really helped like me see things in a different way. The hot girls are healing, okay? That's why we're here. Girl.
Cute, okay? Being
It's real
healed is
cute. You know what's not cute? Being toxic. Being toxic
But
ain't cute.
okay, we doing a lot of talking about the healing, right? But let's not act like
Oh, we're
'cause
hot
we
girls.
from a place, sweetie. Okay,
I'll show them your signature move.
oh. And I gotta edit that out. Trust me, guys, we are in a great place, but like we're not gonna act like
I took an anxiety pill, bro,
like
before this.
like it hasn't been a time.
I couldn't breathe this
like,
morning.
we haven't had our we haven't been the toxic ones. Like we haven't displayed.
Ooh, have we been the
Right,
toxic ones? Ouch. We have been. No, we have. We
Okay.
participated in toxic behaviors. We entertained
Listen,
it. We
but that's a
participated
part
in
of
it.
the growing, glowing.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you God
Ooh.
for saving us.
Yes, I almost said
It was it's what was the catalyst to the healing.
You
I
got
mean,
for sure.
you eventually things change. You have to change, you know,
Mhm.
or I mean, yes, you don't have to, but if you want to,
Cute.
it really is. I mean, that's the thing about it is it's really up to you,
For sure.
and it's like where you're at and what space you're in.
Mhm.
So it looks differently for everybody. It shows up differently for everybody. But I'm just saying, I'm not gonna act like I didn't have some.
Honestly, I tell LB all the time that she needs to write a book because
My life
the
isn't
life
real.
experience definitely is not
it's
real. But I also feel like it's something that we can learn. Y'all might have to send a little thing blurb to ask Alyssa in case you're looking for some advice.
Oh, because look, Alyssa is a therapist.
She
She is a child and family therapist, okay?
So
She was actually mine and Justice
And the
therapist
unofficial
first.
therapist, for
Yeah,
sure.
of all the
Person
friends
and
in the
the
group.
Just a disclaimer, okay? We're not guaranteeing results.
No, I'm off the clock. Okay. And like we said, it's expensive, sweetie. So I'm not here performing in any sort of way, professional way. This is all just who I am on the other side. But it's interesting listening because I have not gone to therapy. Like just mentioned, going through the grief of losing Weeze I didn't even realize I was in a state of grief, to be honest with you, until more recently, which is why I say that I feel like my journey is really just beginning. Because I think that for me, I had a lot of avoidant behaviors. I wasn't ready to deal with a lot of things that I was feeling, or I felt like, could it be me? Like, could it be the therapist? The social worker doesn't have the problems. You know what I mean? So, and when you act in that capacity to somebody else daily, I think you know it all, or you think you have the
Mm.
tools. And I have a little bit more background knowledge on how to manage behavior because I literally have a master's degree in it. But
Talk your
um
shit, LB.
talk to me nice.
Okay.
And I'm a clinic. But
Per.
anyways, I'm like, no, not me. Like, and then I'm like, oh, it is me. Wow. So I
Me.
think
Hi. I'm the problem. It's me.
it might be. So I think that's really why I say like I'm really at a point too where I also think that I've always used career as an identity, and I think I've always used that as a way to define who I was, and I was proud of that, and it was something that I really like. Well, I have this degree, and I was in the honor society, and I have this accolade, and I have that.
You're
Like,
popping shit.
so
Yeah.
they
Go
asked me
ahead. Go
before I came
off.
on here. They said, "LB, you gonna talk your shit?" I
Actually,
said,
I just want
"Absolutely,
to say LB did graduate with her
I
master's
did."
with a 4.0.
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
What's the summa cum what?
I forgot.
Okay.
Gamma.
Shit.
Well, I don't know if grad school. It wasn't. Did I?
Thought
I
you
don't
had a
know, man. At this
sash.
point, it was 2018, so it
It
feels
was a
like
while ago.
it was
Crazy. That was
yesterday.
If I, Young Miami,
Go
go
Poppy.
Poppy. If I saw that before, are you kidding me? Sam
Go
and I would have
Poppy.
been, oh, absolutely. It would have been like, go. She would have had LB. We would have been like,
No, really, I
Definitely.
had a chin section. It was
Mhm.
amazing.
Mhm.
But no, I think that I definitely recently have been like, okay, like, and I have had a lot of like repeated behaviors, same person showing up in my life in different ways.
Mhm.
Where I really was like, okay, enough is enough.
It seems like, everybody and that's what really prompts the healing too. It's like it's not everybody else all the time. Like everybody else isn't upsetting you. Maybe you're upset.
yeah.
Maybe they're not offending you. Maybe, like maybe
Yeah,
you're just feeling offended.
yeah.
So it's like you got to do that self-work to understand too, like, differentiate between the
Turn
two.
that lens
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
Don't be afraid to look at yourself in the mirror.
It's hard.
It's the best work you'll do though. It's the
It's
biggest
hard.
investment, and that's why I like therapy, and I know there are resources out there for people if you don't have insurance and you need therapy, there's lots of resources out there, but therapy I think about too as an investment. In the same way you would invest in your body in a trainer, you invest in your mind and helping to understand. So, I definitely recommend therapy for anybody who's interested. And if anybody is looking for ways, like how do you find a therapist? My doctor pointed me to psychologytoday.com. If they want to sponsor us, look, we're open to sponsorship. Talk to me.
I don't know if I want to be sponsored by psychology.com, but
I don't know. They got
how much
money.
you paying?
That's money talks. But so go to psychology.com. You can search for a therapist by zip code, by insurance, by different modalities that they
Don't
treat.
try to find me on that. I'm not on.
Don't try to find Alyssa. But what I went in and I'm
Oh
looking
my
for
gosh.
Nashville. I
I
looked
get
for
a
my
lot of
health
clients.
insurance and I was looking for people who treated anxiety, depression, and past family history and traumas. So I was looking for something very specific, and you can search for all of those. There's like
Themes.
there's different filters you can
Categories.
search through to find different therapists, and then they'll just give you can kind of scroll through a profile, learn a little bit about them, and that's how you catch the first vibe. That's how I caught my first few vibes. Made a few phone calls, and the first lady who called me back, it was her. It was my lady.
Love it.
Meant to be.
Don't forget to
Yeah,
interview them too, y'all.
yeah.
Ask your questions.
So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely got to ask. What type of questions would you ask a therapist? Like, what's a good question? Hey, therapy didn't really work for me before, and she was like, "Okay, so what are you gonna do about it? How are you gonna change it?"
Ooh.
I was like, "Huh?" She put it right back on me.
She did.
She said, "So what are you gonna do differently this time?" And I said,
Good question. I thought you knew that.
I thought you were gonna tell me
You
what
were
to
supposed
do.
to tell me that. What do you
Yeah.
mean?
No,
Yeah.
that's a good question. I've only had one person who
Okay.
I've dealt with. I will say I didn't ask a question, but I did go to an in-person visit and their energy was off. And I instantly
Mm.
knew that this was not the person for me. No questions asked. And I remember I was like, one of them, actually 2 times I went to an in-person session. First time, it was like going up an attic, super dark, no light in there. And I was like, honestly, I'm just going
Scary.
to stay here. I'm going to stay in this dark place. So there was a no.
Yeah.
There was another time in which I sat down and I just, while she was asking me questions, the space was cool, it was fine. Then she got a question like family tree, my little sister. And all of a sudden she made a comment about like my mom having another kid. And I was like, this is off. We gotta go.
Yeah.
I was like, so really just energy,
so
you're using your and trusting your intuition and energetically like that there is some kind of exchange. You know.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm gonna do some homework and give y'all some questions to ask your therapist.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get back to you on that.
We
Thank you.
appreciate that.
We
Okay.
appreciate
We
Yes,
appreciate
if
that.
you're
that.
listening to this, you are our first listeners.
We
Come
love
back.
you and we appreciate you. We hope you
Yes,
enjoy our content.
It gets
yes.
greater later.
You can
Ooh, it
follow
gets
us
greater
at
later.
Heal Hot Girl on Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube
One
channel,
word.
Heal Hot Girl. You will catch our videos weekly, bi-weekly.
We'll have other fun content to
Yes.
share with you guys.